Welcome back. Well, let's talk about a couple of the pharmaceutical stocks which are in focus. There is important news which has come in on Biocon overnight, where they have launched the biosimilar version of Humira, or the drug which is generically known as Adalimumab in the US markets. It's important because it is the largest drug in the global pharma market. The market size is $18 billion. This will mark the fourth biosimilar that Biocon has launched in the US markets, and it is poised to be one of Biocon's biggest launches till date in the US. The drug is used for various conditions such as arthritis, skin disorders. It is an important launch for Biocon. To discuss more about this, we have Vishal Manchanda, pharma analyst at Systematix Group, joining in to tell us what his perspective is. Vishal, hi, welcome to the show. Well, first I wanted to ask you about the competition in this particular drug, because we have Amgen, which launched in Jan. We do have Boehringer Ingelheim, which might launch another version which is interchangeable. And we have Coherus, which has also said that they're going to come with an 80% discount. So how does that play out for Biocon?
Yeah, so as you said, this is a very large market, $18 million in size. So we'll have about 7 players. So Coherus, Boehringer Ingelheim, Amgen are the few which have notified about their launch, but there'll be a few more who would be launching biosimilar versions soon. So a large market, but equally competitive. And if we look at the pricing situation, people have started to cut prices steeply. So Coherus was the one that announced a 80% price cut, and soon after Biocon has announced a similar price cut on its biosimilar version. So everybody wants to have a larger share of this pie. To kind of get into a little more detail, the Humira market is divided into 2 parts: low concentration and high concentration. The low concentration, where Biocon is participating, is about 15 to 20% of the total market size, which is $18 billion is the total market size, and 15 to 20% of that would be the low concentration version.
Okay, so Vishal, considering that there are price cuts here, and the one that Biocon will be launching is the smaller market of 15 to 18% of the total market, what is the potential for Biocon here? If you can give us that number at peak levels as well and in the near term.
So almost everyone who is launching a biosimilar here have a low concentration version, while a few of them also are launching the high concentration version. So not all of them would have a high concentration version. Basically, the low concentration version market might be more competitive than the higher concentration version market. So what we would anticipate is there would be further shift from low concentration to high concentration, as the higher concentration is a more preferred version for patients. That's what we are anticipating. In terms of what could be the number for Biocon, I would presume a number between, say, $70 to $100 million in sales for Biocon in Adalimumab biosimilar.
Okay, so you expect $70 to $100 million, $100 million being the peak sales?
Yes, so that's on the upper side. So it could be a number in between.
Okay. What is your larger perception of Biocon now, Vishal? Because now this is their 4th biosimilar which is launched. It is widely anticipated. People knew that they're going to launch this particular biosimilar. But nonetheless, now after pegfilgrastim, trastuzumab, insulin glargine, we do have Adalimumab. So they're really the front runners, at least when it comes to an Indian company in the biosimilar space. How much of that is factored into Biocon's stock price? How would you perceive it from, say, a 5-year perspective?
So Biocon has made early inroads into the market. They have established a commercial footprint. That commercial footprint has been widened with the acquisition of Viatris portfolio, the Viatris front end. So I think the success mantra here would be Biocon getting into one of the biosimilars quite earlier than competition and making a large value out of it. So far, what's happened is most of the markets have turned out to be very competitive, and Biocon hasn't been able to get to a very large number. So some of the biosimilar players in the market, those who have ventured in early compared to competition, have been able to kind of do somewhere between $500 million to $1 billion from a single product. So I think that's where if Biocon is able to get through such an opportunity, that would be the turning point for the stock.
Okay, so what are some of the triggers going forward here? You did speak about how some of these biosimilars are an opportunity. Anything which should be in the pipeline or is in the pipeline which you are watching out for, and what's your rating on the stock?
I think the next important trigger for Biocon is the launch of aflibercept and insulin glargine. So insulin glargine might come in before aflibercept. So these are two large launches they might do. Aflibercept maybe is potentially a 2025 launch. But the glargine product, the insulin aspart, I'm sorry. So insulin aspart is what they're expected to launch soon. So that should happen this year or maybe the next year, latest. Okay. So I don't have a coverage on Biocon. It's not rated for us.
Okay, yes, you got me a little confused there about aspart as well as glargine. But talking about glargine and the interchangeability that they have, Biocon, are they applying for interchangeability when it comes to Adalimumab or any of the other biosimilars that they have?
My sense is Biocon is doing an interchangeability trial on Adalimumab. They probably should be in the market with an interchangeable version in FY25 is what I think.
Okay, just quickly before we let you go, Vishal, I wanted to switch gears and ask you about Aurobindo and the announcement that they made with Viatris, which is worth around $48 million. Very little in terms of details, but if you manage to sort of have a conversation with the management, what does this particular tie-up mean?
So even I haven't got through the details, but it is probably what's happening in the market. The larger companies, the larger generic companies, they want to shed away these commodity assets across markets. And I think probably this deal has to do with some commodity assets that Viatris has in pipeline or they have in the market. Even I'll need clarification on this, but this is broadly, this is something I make up from the announcement.
Okay, all right, Vishal, thank you so much for joining us and explaining to us this opportunity for Biocon. Biocon is in focus and other pharma names as well. That's all about the pharma space, but with that, we'll slip into a short break and come back with markets and more.